All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending the Sherwin-Williams Virtual Job Fair event. I would like to introduce you to both Kristen and Brooke. Kristen and Brooke will tell you about their company, job openings, and how to go about applying for those openings. Kristen, are you available to present?
Yes, thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much for attending today and taking some time out to learn more about Sherwin-Williams and some of the roles that we have available. So our next slide here. So Sherwin-Williams was founded in 1866 in Cleveland, Ohio by Henry Sherwin and Edward Williams. Our company has spent the last 156 years creating a legacy of growth, creativity, and innovation to meet the needs of our growing global customer base. Our culture, our corporate purpose is we inspire and move that out of the way. We inspire and improve the world by coloring and protecting what matters. And underlying our business is that clear corporate purpose. And we do this with a solutions mindset. We're geared towards solving our customers' toughest problems. We take a holistic view and seek to create benefits for key stakeholders. This includes customers, employees, communities, and shareholders. Every day we operate with Sherwin-Williams' timeless values. Sherwin-Williams has a culture of accountability. We count on people to do what they say they will do. Our core metrics for driving shareholder value have remained unchanged: driving sales growth, improving return on sales, improving return on sales, driving return on net assets employed, and driving cash generation. While we've always been a company that believes in doing business the right way, we've elevated our commitment to driving sustainability, inclusion, diversity, and equity, and community engagement, among other important initiatives. Sherwin-Williams takes a customer-centric approach, and our core commitment is to provide solutions. We want to solve our customers' most difficult challenges. We want to help them grow and be more profitable. And when they win, we win. This core commitment is why we are so confident in our future. Improving customer productivity is a relentless focus across our commercial, R&D, and technical service teams. Our customers are under continuous pressure to get more out of their labor and to maximize throughput. Sherwin-Williams is there with the solutions. It's not about the lowest price per gallon. It's about reducing the customer's total applied cost. So our culture is next. So the company's 7 guiding values are the foundation of our culture of excellence and integrity: people, service, quality, performance, innovation, and growth. Our culture has helped us set standards of excellence and performance, both within the industry and as an employer of choice. We value and support our people through, among other initiatives, our inclusion and diversity and equity, talent acquisition, and employee engagement, occupational health and safety, employment practices, and total rewards programs. We are committed to fostering a culture of inclusion where differences are welcomed, appreciated, and celebrated to positively impact our people and business, and where our people are engaged and encouraged to support the communities in which they live and work. For more than 150 years, our culture has proven what we can achieve when we believe in each other, when we aim higher, and when we give back. With our culture at the heart of who we are, we believe the best is yet to come. And doing business the right way. Sustainability is rooted in our values and our way of doing business. We are dedicated to protecting the world in which we live and continually improving in all that we do. We embrace an enterprise-wide approach to sustainability, striving to integrate into every Sherwin-Williams business, region, and function worldwide, and embedding it in our product innovation and development processes and in product delivery to our valued customers. The 3 pillars of our sustainability framework are environmental footprint, product blueprint, and social imprint. These pillars sit on a foundation of governance and ethics, which is designed to drive broad engagement and appropriate oversight for sustainability initiatives throughout the company. And on our next slide, just some information about Sherwin-Williams as a whole. Today, we're a global leader with more than 61,000 talented employees that manufacture, develop, distribute, and sell paint coatings and related products under some of the industry's most well-known brands. We sell to professional, industrial, commercial, and retail customers in more than 120 countries worldwide. In 2021, we generated more than $19 billion in revenue. 56% of that came from our Americas group, which is all of our retail stores that you see around your communities. 30% is from our performance coatings group, and 14% was from our consumer brands group. We have more than 4,800 company-operated stores in the United States, Canada, the Caribbean, and Latin America. We have 132 manufacturing and distribution facilities globally. Sherwin-Williams creates some of the world's most recognizable paints, stains, and coatings. And here on the slide, we have our Sherwin-Williams brand listed, Valspar, which was actually acquired by Sherwin-Williams a few years ago, and the HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Minwax, Purdy, Krylon, Thompson's Water Seal, and Cabot are some of our leading brands that we sell. So the Americas Group, or TAG for short, they operate the exclusive outlets for Sherwin-Williams branded paints, stains, supplies, equipment, and floor coverings in the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean. TAG has more than 4,800 stores, 3,300 plus sales reps, 2,400 plus drivers that work in our stores. In 2021, the segment had $11 billion in revenue, or just over half of the company's revenue. And we currently operate locations in Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Ecuador, Mexico, and Uruguay. The majority of our sales in TAG come from the following end markets: residential, repaint, property maintenance, and new residential. However, DIY, new commercial, and protective and marine coatings play a role as well. And we work with professional painting contractors, national accounts, and premium DIY customers. Innovative products are at the core of our customer solutions, and 2021 was the 11th consecutive year that we had double-digit product introductions. So the next group that we have here at Sherwin-Williams is our Performance Coatings Group. This group sells a broad range of coatings and finishing solutions to general industrial, industrial wood, protective and marine, automotive refinishes, packaging, and coil customers in more than 120 countries worldwide. In 2021, this segment of the business did about $6 billion in revenue, and it's split between the 6 businesses listed above: automotive refinishes, coil, general industrial, industrial wood, packaging, and protective and marine. We focus on selected segments with fragmented or highly concentrated customer bases that require high technology, value-added products, and who value high-touch sales, distribution, and service. Our customers served include the following: commercial construction, industrial maintenance, protective and marine, military, heavy equipment, appliances, electronics, building products, furniture, cabinetry, and flooring, architects and specifiers, bridge and highway, water and wastewater treatment, collision repair facilities, dealerships, auto interior, fleet owners, auto refinishers, production shops, metal packaging, and manufacturers. Our steady stream of innovative products enables customers across multiple industries to be more successful. And our last group is our Consumer Brands Group, or CBG for short. They sell one of the industry's most recognized portfolios of branded and private label products through retailers across North America and in parts of Europe and China. In 2021, this segment of the business did $2.7 billion in revenue. And our hero brands are among the most recognized and respected in the industry. And that includes brands such as Valspar, HDTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Minwax, Purdy, Krylon, Thompson's Water Seal, and Cabot. That can be found at strategic channel partners such as Lowe's, Do It Best, Orgill, B&Q, Menards, and Walmart. And our focus areas for this group has been high volume strategic channel partners that value our brand portfolio and distribution expertise and support infrastructure. So the consumer brand group also operates a highly efficient global supply chain for paint, coatings, and related products. Our end-to-end supply chain involves everything from research and development to delivering products to customers. And our focus is on driving out complexity while creating value across the entire supply chain. We accomplish this by collaboration and alignment with our selling organizations while accelerating results through our global business management system, which is anchored in these 4 elements: management review, continuous improvement, accelerated root cause, and time management. We have over 15,000 team members who operate as one focused organization, sharing best practices worldwide through our end-to-end supply chain. So that was just a little bit about Sherwin-Williams as a whole. I'm just giving you a high level of the different businesses where we do have positions open. Today, me and Brooke are just going to talk about the tag stores and what is available within those DIY residential and commercial locations. So for our tag job openings, we have store associate, customer service specialist, and delivery drivers. These are by no means an exhaustive list, but these are the 3 most common job openings that you'll find when you search on our career site, or if you come across us on Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, any of those job searching engines and websites. We have the store associate position, which is a part-time, typically part-time. And for all of our roles, they need to be at least 18 years or older to be able to work in these stores, as well as legally authorized to work in the US. For our drivers, you must be 21 years old. And for just some of the things that we're looking for, ability to distinguish colors for paint mixing, tinting, and color matching for our customers. You do need to have an ability to lift up to 50 pounds because we are moving product around in the warehouse or getting it out to our customers' cars, anything like that. So the ability to lift is a great need. And then obviously be able to use a computer and phone. And you'll just be working with the customers, assisting them with finding products for their projects that they have going on, whether it's a DIY, someone coming in for their house, or it is a commercial customer coming in to pick up their product for repainting an apartment or something like that. And one of the needs that we have across all of our jobs is bilingual ability, especially in Spanish, and especially in areas that have a large Hispanic population. Being fluent in Spanish is a much needed asset to our team. So we also are finding that in some communities in Chicago, we need them to be also bilingual in Polish. So that is also a needed asset as well. Our customer service specialist is just like our store associate, but it's full-time. And our customer service specialist will also most likely be key carrying as well. So they will be opening or closing the store and maybe making bank deposits at the end of the night for closing the store. So definitely having a valid driver's license with insurance will also be needed for that customer service specialist. There is full-time benefits and vacation available for our full-time employees. And for our delivery drivers, we have part-time and full-time available. They must be 21 years old. For driver one, we need them to have a valid Class D license. That's usually the class that's issued to everybody in the state. So just make sure you have a valid driver's license that has no restrictions on it. For a driver two, it must be a Class C license, and you will also be required to receive a MET card, which is just a physical to make sure that you're able to perform that job. For the driver three, you must have a CDL and hazmat endorsement, as well as the MET card. And also be able to lift up to 50 pounds. And delivery experience is a plus. We work with people that have worked with Amazon or FedEx, UPS, DHL, any of those delivery drivers, Uber, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all of that. And again, bilingual is a very strongly needed talent in our stores. So I will pass this over to Brooke so she can talk some more about the interns and the managers in training program.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So I am our talent acquisition specialist for early talent. So I hire for our summer internship as well as our management and sales training program. Both of these have the same sort of, kind of pre-screening things. You must be 18. You got to have a driver's license, be able to work in the US. For our interns, you want to be on track with currently being enrolled to get a bachelor's degree. As you can see with the manager training program, just that you have your bachelor's degree, or it's May, a lot of people are graduating right now, so maybe you're about to get it. Bachelor's degree, you're good to go. Bilingual is always a plus as well there. But our internship is 10 weeks. It's paid training. It's over the summer. This summer is currently full, but I'll still tell you a little bit about it. Basically, you're going to be doing a lot of professional development. You're going to be learning kind of the ins and outs of sales and management, as well as getting some hands-on experience working in our training stores. And then for the manager and training program, that basically is 6 to 8 weeks of paid training, and it gives you all the skills and knowledge to get ready to be an assistant manager in one of our stores. So that's just kind of a quick overview of mine.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we also have our TAMS program, which is for assistant managers or becoming an assistant manager, and assistant manager and store manager. So I've listed out some of the qualifications. Ideally, you definitely need to have your high school diploma or GED. Bachelor's is definitely preferred for an assistant manager, but we do, again, have our TAMS training program. Ideally, the TAMS is internal promotion. So if we have a customer service specialist that's interested in moving on to becoming an assistant manager, they would go through the TAMS program if they don't have a bachelor's degree. So we do have the ability to move up within the stores and, eventually into district leadership and then into other parts of the company as well. But again, it must be 18 years or older, valid driver's license, because again, the assistant manager and store managers will definitely be responsible for closing and opening the store. So they need to have that ability to do the bank deposits at night, among other things, possibly even doing some deliveries. That is our management staff for the stores. I don't do a lot of recruiting for those roles, but if you do have any questions, if I can't answer them, I know who to go to. So we'll make sure we'll get your contact information so we can follow up. And again, bilingual ability is definitely needed in all of our stores and in all of our roles. We also have some warehouse lead roles that are open in our floor covering store, warehouse associate roles, as well as floor covering installations and for a technician as well as a coordinator role. Right now, we're definitely hiring in our Bensonville location, which is just right, I think, just west of O'Hare. We have other locations around the country as well for floor covering. So this is more for commercial use. These are people that are, working in businesses, buildings, high-rise buildings, apartment complexes, that sort of thing. So it's not a lot of residential DIY floor coverings. It's more for the commercial application. So how to apply? The best way is to text jobs to 77579 to that number, or you can use that QR code. And basically, you're going to go on there, search for the jobs that are close to you or whatever you're interested in, and then apply and fill out all the information for them to review your qualifications, your experience, and then they will be able to reach out further if they want to, bring you in for an interview or anything like that. But once you have that application in there, you will get an email that invites you to do a digital interview with Sherwin-Williams. This is with our hire review company that has this technology that we've been working with. So you'll get an email to complete that. And then once that's reviewed by the recruiter for Chicago area, that's myself. We have locations all around Illinois. So there we have other recruiters that work downstate in the southern part of Illinois and the western part of Illinois. So we'll be reviewing the digital interviews. And then once that is complete, we will then move you on to the next step, which is when the store will reach out to bring you in for an in-person interview to meet the store team, the store manager, and just let you see where you'll be working. And if that all goes well, then hopefully we'll be making an offer and you'll be starting with Sherwin-Williams. So this is more information about it. And again, the QR code is the best way to get that link sent to you. Or you can go to our website here, which is listed right here. So it's careers.sherwin-williams.com. And that will bring up all of our jobs. And then you can search by the city you're located in. And that should bring up all the jobs that are available in your area. You can also follow us on social media. So we are on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And again, we do have our jobs listed on LinkedIn as well as Indeed and Career Builder. Any questions?
Well, fantastic job, both Kristen and Brooke, on that presentation. A lot of great information covered there in a short amount of time. So thank you both. As Kristen just alluded to, we have reached kind of the Q&A portion of the event. So if you do have any questions for either of these ladies, feel free to ask now. I did receive a direct question from a job seeker on the line, and that question was, are there any remote job vacancies? So not sure if y'all could kind of speak to that, and even if it might not be maybe under your department or fall under your purview, if folks would be able to find those on maybe the Sherwin-Williams website.
Yeah, they would be able to find that on the website. All of the jobs for our stores are in person, so they are required to be in that location. But if there are any remote jobs, they would be listed on our careers website.
Understood. Thank you so much for that, Kristen. And Kristen, I do have some additional questions that I'd like to go ahead and ask you. And for anybody else that's tuning in or on the line right now, if you do have any questions, feel free to throw those into the chat. And of course, I'll be sure to ask those for you and we'll get you an answer as soon as possible. So Kristen and Brooke, next question that I have for you is, how long does your hiring process typically take from the point of submitting an application to actually being extended that offer for hire, assuming all goes well?
Well, assuming all goes well, hopefully about 10 days or so. We do have a background check process and drug screening process that we go through. As things have opened up, that has gone faster than that, because we were, for a while with the pandemic and things being shut down, it was taking a little bit longer, but we are now starting to see that things are moving a bit quicker and we're getting people in sooner. So I think it takes about 10 days for people to get everything together and ready to go.
Yeah, I just to piggyback off of that, I hate the answer of like, oh, it depends. But also with our process, but it depends. Also with our process, there's a couple different steps. You'll interview with maybe one of us. You might interview with district leadership, as well as depending on the position that you're going for. Sometimes there's a store visit involved where you basically get to go to a store, get to see what the day-to-day is like. So it also just kind of depends on like when you're free, when everybody else is free. But yeah, I'd agree that usually it's probably about 10 days if it all goes well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, both Brooke and Kristen. And I did see somebody raise their hand. If you do have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask if you would like.
My question was, there are remote jobs because I'm not based in US. I'm not based in the US. So are there remote jobs that I can work with?
Do you mind letting us know what country you're in? Because they might have some roles available in that country.
In Africa, Kenya.
That I am not 100% sure. But definitely the best thing I can say is to keep an eye on our career site for jobs that do come up for your area. But yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know if we have anything available in that area, but.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that, Kristen. And again, if there are any additional questions, feel free to ask either in the chat, or if you'd like to unmute yourself, just raise your hand. Of course, we'll give you another opportunity to ask any questions that you do have. In the meantime, Kristen and Brooke, have some other questions I'd like to go ahead and ask you as well.
Mhm.
So obviously you guys had covered, like manager in training, interns. So those obviously do have, minimum educational requirements, but for the other positions that were covered by you, Kristen,
Mhm.
are there any minimum educational requirements that folks would need to possess to be eligible for those positions?
No. So they just need to be 18 years old. You do not have to have a GED or high school diploma to work in the store as a store associate, customer service specialist, and driver in the warehouse.
Excellent, understood.
Mhm.
And this next question that I have for you can go for either Brooke or Kristen. And the question is how can a candidate stand out and get an interview, assuming they're qualified for the position in which they are applying? Is there any tips, tricks, pointers, maybe things folks should highlight on a resume or during maybe an initial screening that might help them kind of stand out from the pack, so to speak?
You want to go first, Brooke?
Sure, yeah. So I love that question. Basically, there's a handful of things that you could do to stand out, or just make sure that you're ready for the interview and stuff like that. This is like totally the time to just brag about yourself. Lay all the good stuff that you've done. Show us those leadership things that you have been involved with. Show me like all the places you've worked and the skills that you've learned with them. It feels weird to brag about yourself. I know myself personally, before I became a recruiter, I like hated interviews. I hated the whole process. I would like black out. It was super scary for me. But I've just learned that it's like the worst that they can say is no. So you might as well give it your all. I think also another great thing is to, at least with like my process, I like to ask like, what do you know about Sherwin-Williams during that interview? And so I think just at least taking a little bit of time to research the company that you're going for is always good. I don't need to see that you know everything about Sherwin-Williams, but as long as we sell paint and maybe a couple little tidbits, I think that always gives you a one-up. The other thing that I would also recommend is kind of after the interview though, make sure that you're always reaching out to whoever you're interviewing with and thanking them, whether it's just a quick email or a text or something like that. It might be the thing that sets you apart from everyone else just because you're making that little extra effort.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely what Brooke said, highlighting your experiences, anything that might be relevant. So for any of our roles, customer service is huge. So if you have a lot of customer service experience, even if you've worked in a restaurant and you've been a waiter, that's great experience because you're obviously working with your customers and serving them. So any of that experience that you can highlight. For the drivers, obviously, if you have delivery driver experience, highlighting that. If you're, applying for a warehouser, highlighting all of your warehousing experience. Definitely having that bilingual ability will set you apart. We're definitely trying to make sure our stores are staffed so they can help everybody. So now, obviously helping people that speak English, but we want to help our customers that come in and maybe English is a second language and, Spanish is their first language. So we want to make sure that we can service those customers as well. So having that bilingual ability is definitely something that will set you apart. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Excellent information, both Brooke and Kristen. And another question that I do have for you, believe it or not, is one that comes up pretty frequently on the events that I hold. So not to put you on the spot, but for folks that might have, let's say, minor infractions, misdemeanors, things like that on their records, would those be barriers or obstacles to at least certain positions that you all have available there at Sherwin-Williams?
I think it depends on the situation. It depends on the infraction. When things do come up in the background check process, it is sent over to our loss prevention team and they review it and then they make that decision. So it's kind of out of our hands at that point. So it's kind of done on a case-by-case basis. And I think that's about it.
Completely understand where you're coming from, but thank you again for the information on that, Kristen. Much appreciated. An additional question that I have for you, pretty obvious one, but sometimes obviously with these virtual events, sometimes things get lost in translation. So if folks have any questions regarding any of the information that was covered here, maybe the positions that you all have available, or just any other questions in particular related to employment at Sherwin-Williams, how can applicants go about getting those questions answered? What would be the best means of doing so, I guess? Would it be reaching out to one of you, maybe HR rep? What do you suggest?
So I just moved it to the next slide. So if you have any questions regarding what we shared today, please feel free to reach out to myself or to Brooke. I gave our phone numbers and our emails. You can call or text us, whichever is comfortable. And that's the best way to get hold of us, and we'll answer your questions.
Excellent. Thank you both for that. One question that I always like to ask when we start to kind of wrap things up is, can you kind of speak on maybe what some of the opportunities for advancement are at Sherwin-Williams, and also if there's any sort of success story or stories that maybe you'd like to share with the folks that are tuning in, just to kind of give them an idea of what possibilities are available to them at your company?
Absolutely. Yeah. We've had people start as part-time sales associates and work their way all the way up to being a store manager. I'm assuming we probably have people in Sherwin that have worked their way all the way up to being a district manager and beyond. So, as long as you are excited about learning and, obviously doing the best for the customer and for the store and everything, there's so much room for moving up in the stores and, beyond. It's actually quite refreshing to see a company that takes seriously, when they say, there's ways to move up. There are ways to move up. We have lots of movement within our districts on a monthly basis of people that are, being promoted into, like, they went from part-time store associate to a full-time customer service, or we have our full-time customer service folks getting, chosen for the MT program, or getting moved into the TAMS program, or, moving into other roles throughout the district and the company. So there is lots of room for moving up and advancing within Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah, just to go off of that, one of the things I love about Sherwin, and Kristen kind of touched on it, is there isn't really any sort of glass ceiling. You move up as quickly as you're interested in learning, and if you're open to opportunities, wherever they may be, you can move up as quickly as you want. Nice part of it too, Sherwin has built a really good atmosphere, because basically everybody starts in our entry level positions and then works their way up. So when you're in these positions, you can basically ask anyone for help, or if you have questions or anything, because we've also all been there and like worked our way up to wherever we needed to be. Even actually our CEO, who's from Chicago, so biased, he literally did these programs and worked his way up to be the CEO. So yeah, you can kind of take it any route you want. I've also noticed too, myself personally, I did the manager training program, and was in the stores for a couple of years, and everybody's just really down to help you figure out where you want to go and how to get there with your career path. And I think that's really nice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent information, both Kristen and Brooke. And kind of using that as a segue, I think it would be appropriate now to kind of begin our wrap up for the presentation here today. So of course, I want to give both Kristen and Brooke an opportunity to give any sort of concluding remarks, summary statements, takeaways, anything like that that you'd like to share with the folks, regarding your presentation today, or just anything else Sherwin related in general.
Just thank you so much for taking some time out to chat with us, and definitely let us know. Again, our contact information is here if you have any questions, and we will hopefully be able to answer them and go from there.
Excellent. Thank you both for, of course, joining us today. Just a few things that I want to cover as far as next steps are concerned before we hop off here. Again, the session has been recorded, so for any folks who might be tuning in a little bit later that registered, but for whatever reason were not able to attend, I will be uploading this presentation to the Illinois workNet YouTube channel within 48 hours. So you will have access to this presentation, obviously, before you fill out those job applications. The next piece of this as well is, if you did register for the event, your contact information obviously was captured in the registration form. So I will also be forwarding that information on to Kristen, Brooke, and Deb for further review and follow-up. And other than that, of course, thank you all for joining today. We hope this was a good event for you and that it was fruitful. Thank you so much. We
Thank you.
appreciate your attendance. Thank you.